I'd like to welcome everyone to the May 13th, 2020 regular meeting of the Moose Lake City Council. And I'd like to start with a pledge of allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and Thank you. Just for the ease of the meeting, what we've been doing, everybody go on mute until you raise your hand to speak, or Kate, I don't know about the scroll. I have some of the council members. You'll have to notify me of the others. And then we'll try to call each person. The first item is the agenda. Do we have any additions or changes to the agenda?
I'm not sure where you want to add it, but Walt would like to say something about the fire district. I don't know if you just want to say it when you're doing the announcements down at the bottom.
So it's hard to see. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
All right. We have a closed portion of the meeting, and we'll do that after all the other items are completed at the very end of the meeting. So with that, do I have a motion to approve the agenda? Do you have a second?
Here's the number.
Did I second or I'll second?
Okay.
Who made the first motion?
Greg.
Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Councillor Huso.
Aye.
Councillor Jutnan. You're muted, but that's okay. I saw your lips move.
Sorry, aye.
That's okay. Mayor Shaw.
Yes.
Councillor Lauer.
Aye.
Councillor Sarvela.
Aye.
Okay.
Motion carried. Moving on into the agenda, the consent agenda, we have the minutes for March 18th, 2020 special city council meeting. Number two.
Sorry, Ted, I'm going to jump in here. I dropped the ball and I didn't email them out, so I'm going to add those to the next agenda or the next meeting. I'll add all those to that one.
All of them, March 18th
Yep.
through April 29th?
Correct.
All right. Moving on then to the consent agenda to be the financial reports. Number one is the city accounts payable for April 2020. Number two, the city financial statements for April 2020. Number three, the liquor store profit loss statements for April 2020. Do you have any questions or comments on the financial reports?
Go ahead, Doug. You're muted again.
It can be brought up probably at the liquor meeting on page 2 under expenses for liquor 609-4950-101. We haven't had any on sale liquor, and our full-time expenses for payroll is $2,000 or $1,700 more than was last year when we were open the liquor store. Is that correct, or am I reading that incorrectly?
Sorry, hang on, I gotta get there.
This is all budget.
Maybe. HTTPS.
Okay, say that one more time.
E609. Yeah, E609-497-50-101.
So Oh, that's not the right one either.
Oh, so you
Sorry,
have
I
to
was
click
looking
on
at the
that.
wrong one. So just the regular wages?
Yeah, just full-time employee wages. It's on page 2. I'm sorry. Page 2, it says 940219 for April 2020.
That's part-time. No, sorry, I don't know where you're looking. I wish you were in person with me.
You have to keep all these scores and stuff.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't see which one you're looking at.
It's
I don't see a 19.
okay.
This is what
We'll
I
discuss it
got.
at the liquor meeting.
Yeah, that's fine. Sorry, I just don't see where you're.
What?
Thank you.
Hey, Doug,
Their own.
Get anything, so these are.
Mhm.
Doug, would you
Yes.
send an email to Katie on that item?
I will.
Thank you. And then Katie can respond to that and send it out to all of us once she has found that spot.
Yep, I
Thank
can
you.
do that.
Thank you.
Here, third graders got it all right. Fifth graders couldn't even do it. Hi, Dad.
Oh,
Moving on to, well, I should say, are there any other questions for any of the financial reports?
Yeah.
Hearing none, do we have a motion to accept the financial reports?
So move.
I have Chris, do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Greg. All in favor, say aye. Katie?
Counselor Huso,
Aye.
Counselor Jetnon,
Aye.
Counselor Lauer,
aye.
Counselor Sarvala,
Aye.
Mayor Shaw.
Aye.
Okay.
Any opposed?
Done it.
Motion carried. Thank you.
Nice.
Moving on to
Nothing
number 3, public comment. This time reserved for comments from the public on matters not listed on the agenda. Please keep comments to 3 minutes. Hearing none, we'll move on. We do have
Hang on
some,
one second.
Oh, hang on. Sorry.
yes,
This is Moose Lake resident John Lund. I'm not sure if it's on the agenda as I don't have it in front of me, but really quickly, I'd just like to ask a question about the generators at the power company. Basically, back on May 4th and March 29th, we had power outages that lasted for an extended period of time. And to my knowledge, the generators did not kick on. So I'm just wondering, is there an update on that, or have they found a root cause on why the generators may not have come online? And I'm really interested because A, I'm working at home, and B, my stepdaughter is also distance learning from home. So these outages directly impact our productivity at school and at work. Thanks.
I can answer that. Yes, they were going through an upgrade on the north substation, replacing an old transformer. And during the cutover, there were some failures on some components and there's nothing they could do about it except just replace those components. And also on one of the generators, there were some injectors that they found out are weak, and those injectors will have to be replaced at some point. They're still in use, and they are putting together a plan and budgeting for that item. But
Okay,
that's unfortunate during that cutover that we had that failure.
Okay, thank you, Ted. I appreciate it.
Sure, you bet. Any other items from the community?
Okay, we'll get the light.
I guess not. We do have some guests with us today, and I thought I would move Cassie up before we go into all the other department reports. That way, Cassie, you can speak to us, and then you can drop off or stay with it. It's be up to you.
Okay, thanks, Ted. So I'm here on behalf of the Moose Lake Area Chamber of Commerce, and some of you may have seen it and some of you may have not. But we have put together a special COVID-19 relief fund for the local small businesses, just exclusively to our area and to our chamber members who have businesses who have been shut down. We have so far received a considerable amount of donations, but we are looking for more. We're unsure as to how many businesses are really struggling and will need help. Today, we sent out an application process to our members to apply for relief through what we have fundraised. But because we're still looking for more donations, it was suggested that we come to your board and ask you guys to consider using money from your gambling fund. And we're looking for a donation of $500 to go into the Chamber's COVID-19 relief fund.
So I'll open it up to the council members for questions and or motion.
You're muted.
Again, I'll make a motion that we donate $500 to the COVID fund.
Do we have a second?
I'll second that. This is Walt.
Can I
Very
just,
good. Yes, Chris, go ahead.
Do you know what the balance is in that fund?
About $2,200.
Okay.
We have a motion and a second. Any other questions? All in favor, say aye. Katie?
Councillor Huso,
Aye.
Councillor Jutnan,
Aye.
Councillor Lauer,
Aye.
Councillor Sarvela,
Aye.
Mayor Shaw.
Aye. Any no votes? Motion carried. Thank you, Cassie.
thanks guys, I appreciate it.
And you're welcome to stay with or drop off. Thank you. Moving back to department reports, 4A, the Police Chief Department Report for April 2020.
I believe Katie got them out to you in the emails today. You'll find the report for April 1st through April 30th. We had 139 calls. We had 4 hours at the MSOP, and we had an hour for ECRC at the Department of Corrections. The police department, we had our mandatory spring post training on the 23rd. Was for our taser certification, as well as day and night shoot for firearms. And also myself and Officer Parrott went to the mandatory EVOC training that's required every 5 years for emergency driving at the Hibbing Airport. So that's taken care of. The COVID-19, nothing's really changed with that, except for once the governor started talking about recreational enjoyment and fishing and stuff. Everybody took that to be that ATVs have props, I guess, but they swarmed, and our weekends have been really busy with that, and we've received quite a bit of calls as far as that, but for the most part, they've been, doing their best for their social distancing, and they've been doing okay. The few calls that we have had, everybody's been cooperative, and I don't know how else we're really going to be able to do anything about that, but other than that, and then the it's not on this letter, but the Tahoe will be going in on Friday for warranty work again. It's got a bad cylinder in the motor. It is covered under the powertrain, but that'll be going up on Friday for that warranty repair. Other than that, nothing's really other new.
Just out of curiosity, Mike, what are the protocols for you guys when you visit the state facilities?
Like if we go into the prison,
Yeah,
if we go into the prison, we got to go through their screening process, which is, you know, the questionnaire, temperature, washing of the hands, and then we'll be wearing masks for sure throughout. But if we're in real close contact, a lot of the times they'll put on a Tyvek suit if needed. But we'll have masks and gloves on for sure. But we have to go through this health screening also prior to going in. And that's the same as over at the hospital. You got to go through the same screening.
all right, thank you. Pass on a thank you to the department.
We'll do that.
Any questions for the chief? Hearing none, Public Works Superintendent report.
Yeah, Mayor, members of the council, we had a very, very busy month. Water department, we did distribute 3.9 million gallons drinking water in the month of April. The water services that we're running to prevent from freezing, they are all off now. We are actually under the normal load now for the summer. We had a water break behind the old motel that we've been working on that most of you have probably seen for the last 3.5, 4 days, something like that. Finished up on Monday, actually. That was by far the worst water break of my career in this town. That was horrible. But it's done, it's in, it costs a lot, I get it. But there's not a whole lot we can do other than fix it. Sewer department collected 20.9 million gallons of wastewater. Treatment system, the spring discharge is complete. All of our results came back. We're in the clear there. The MPCA is very happy with us once again. We will be doing another discharge in June. We're getting prepped up for that. Our 2020 sewer cleaning program is completed. That was 19,780 feet we did this year, and we did it in about 2.5 weeks. It was unbelievable. We really, really moved along. Street department, pothole filling, that's completed. Everyone sees that. Street sweeping, that is completed last week too. I will mention about the street sweeping thing. If anyone sees an area that got missed, please reach out to me. We'll make sure we have a smaller list of stuff that we just do with the skid steer in a pickup room. We can gladly get it done. But yeah, like I said, I don't know about it if no one tells me. So just feel free to get a hold of me. Cemeteries, mowing and cleanup is currently underway. There's one spot in particular that the cemetery board brought to our attention last fall at the Riverside Cemetery that needs some black dirt and some seed. There's an area underneath a bunch of pine trees where I looked at it a little bit today. It's a shaded area. It's underneath a bunch of pine trees. The soil is extremely acidic there due to that reason. I mean, by all means, we can gladly black dirt and seed the area, but the same thing is going to happen again if we do. So if you guys want us to, we will, not a problem, but just know that it's not going to be fixed for good and we're going to have to be going back there again. Other than that, I think that's all I have.
Just a quick question, Phil. How big is that area that where it's so acidic, the ground?
About 50 by 50 maybe. It's kind of on top of a hill right up by that pump house up on Riverside Cemetery.
It's been like that for years right there.
Yeah.
I don't think putting black dirt and it would last maybe a year and we'd be back to the same. I don't see a problem with leaving that for now.
Okay.
And please pass on to the crew. Thank you very much. The council have any questions for the superintendent? Hearing none, the technology and library report, Katie.
I have something later on for the library and something later on for technology. For the upgrade of the system, I just will quickly mention that Rory has been working with AVI, MediaCom, CW, everybody basically on getting the nitty gritty details all ironed out. So he's been working hard on that. But I have things later on in the agenda.
Any questions for Katie? Hearing none, we'll move on to the city engineer. Maybe they didn't get on yet.
I can see him. I don't know, Matt, do you want to run through the minutes quick, or do you just want, does anybody have any questions for Matt? I can't hear you. You must be on mute.
That better?
There you go.
Yeah, I was not planning to walk through the whole set of minutes unless you wanted me to. It was in your agenda packet, and I'm happy to answer any questions you might have. Otherwise, we do have an agenda item for the well house coming up here in a couple items.
Well, very good. I don't know. I don't think anyone has questions at this time. Council members? We'll get this stuff during the regular agenda then, moving down later. Chamber of Commerce updates. Cassie, do you have anything for us?
Sure, I can give an update. We are in the process of looking for this year's junior ambassadors. So we're encouraging next year's juniors and seniors in high school to apply for the summer work at the chamber office. Today we also did put out on social media, and we'll be printing in the paper shortly, our decision to cancel the 4th of July parade, Agate Day, and the triathlon. So we've canceled some events. We're hoping to put some new events on coming up if the state starts to return to some kind of new normal where we're able to. We're also updating our computer system. So we'll have a little bit more user-friendly page at the chamber office. That's about it.
Very good, thank you. Anyone have questions for Cassie? Hearing none, thank you very much, appreciate it. Moving on to previously discussed items, the A under the COVID-19 updates and planning. Katie, you have anything for campground, DMV, library, and liquor store?
So I would have liked to have a really nice list of how we're going to reopen and what all the departments are going to be doing, but I don't want to get ahead of myself. We are planning. I am discussing with each department almost on a daily basis on any new ideas that they have, anything from the state. With the DMV especially, they're meeting with area DMVs via Zoom every single Tuesday and Thursday, I believe. So we're getting really good ideas on how to reopen. I guess the biggest question I've been getting in this entire list is, when is the DMV going to open and when is the campground going to open? And it kind of sounds like, I don't want to put words in the governor's mouth, but it kind of sounds like he may be extending this stay-at-home order a bit longer. Again, don't want to get ahead of myself, but my suggestion would be to open the campground on the 22nd like we planned, and kind of wait to see what guidance he gives for the future. For the campground. So for the DMV, we are going to continue to offer the curbside services as well as the drop box. The only service that you cannot do within the curbside or the drop box is driver's license, anything. The library is also going to be doing curbside and like set pickup times. The liquor store is currently still doing curbside. They would like to reopen if you guys feel comfortable doing that. Just open the off sale side, not the bar, obviously. With that, they would only allow, I think, 5 people in at a time. But I think that we're seeing some loss in revenue on that side because people aren't perusing, and there's not really a lot of shopping going on. So I guess that's a decision for you guys. And then also the recycle shed, I'm fine with opening the recycle shed as long as they're not going in people's cars and that kind of thing. I should back up. The liquor store, they would also like to put up a plexiglass barrier where the cash register is. So that's another thing that she had mentioned. But yeah, I guess I'll open it up to you guys if you guys have any input on anything that I just said.
You know, the governor had his discussion, or he will at 6 tonight, right?
Yep.
And I heard something about a soft opening, but we have no idea what that means.
Right.
I think we have to wait till after we hear that about if we open up the store, I mean, you know, the off sale and allow people in. But I would think we could do that easily. And I don't have a problem with that. And I agree about the plexiglass. If they want it, we should supply it to them. Council members?
So I guess to clarify, is everyone okay with opening the liquor store as far as with the 5 people maximum, things like that? Yep,
Go ahead, Chris.
Chris.
Would we require people to wear masks? And feet, marking the floors and making sure everybody's...
We can put up masks. Something that the library did is that they put up a sign that basically said like masks are encouraged, not required, but they are encouraged. We can put those signs up. We can put the social distancing 6 feet signs. I can mark the floors. I mean, we can do some things like that. It's just that entryway is a little congested sometimes. So yeah, we can do some of that stuff though. Yes.
Oh. Curbside. Yeah. Oh, man.
How about Greg?
I would say try it and see if it works out. If the people can so-called behave themselves, come in and out, fine. But if they don't, then they can close it back down.
Doug?
Yes, as long as we're going to market and put up the plexiglass and be accountable for our own actions, yes, I'm fine with that.
Walt?
Depending upon what the governor says tonight, I'm for opening.
I think we have
So-
consent, Katie, so
Okay.
we'll have
So
to
what
listen.
I will do,
Go ahead.
sorry, what I will do is, I hate meeting like this. I feel like I'm talking over everyone. What I will do is before we open, I will make sure that that plexiglass is up and the floors are marked and the appropriate signage is up. Or we just won't open until that stuff happens. So Phil, put that on your to-do list.
All right, and we'll listen to the 6 o'clock report from the governor also, Katie, and we'll
Right.
talk after that too tomorrow.
And I put those things on and then I saw that he was talking. I'm like, gosh darn it, why couldn't he do it at 2 o'clock?
Yeah. All right, thank you. Moving on to FEMA report, FEMA recovery.
I got an email very late in the day on Monday that the COVID pandemic is actually going to be a FEMA event. So that means that we can request reimbursement for any of the PPE that we have spent money on, all the cleaning supplies, basically anything associated with the COVID-19 disaster, with the exceptions of, I specifically asked about the expenses that we've paid employees for administrative leave. That unfortunately does not work in this situation. And then what else did I ask? I asked about something else. I can't remember what it is. But I will be going through our receipts and making sure that I include any and every possible thing that we've spent money on thus far. So that's good. That's good news.
And you
I
mentioned
just wanted
over,
to.
right?
Yep.
Anyway.
So for example, like if I worked overtime because of this event, whether it was because I was working in meetings all day one day and that caused me to work overtime, that can be included, but no straight time for employees can be reimbursed. So.
Thank you. Any questions from the council?
I should have more information on that, like as the time goes on. We just had a kickoff meeting on it, I think yesterday, so.
All right, thank you, Katie. Moving on to 6C, the well house update and cost estimate.
Sure. Thank you, Mayor. This is Matt again. And my colleague Mark Wallace is also on the call here. His video's not up. Oh, there he is right there. So we just wanted to come back to the council. In December of 2019, last December, we presented our preliminary engineering report to the council. We walked through the wells project, the pumping facility project, and the water tower project. Council gave us authorization to move ahead on design, and we got a contract in place for that. The wells themselves, you already authorized. We opened bids. We have a pre-construction meeting tomorrow, and they will be starting that work soon. And the two new wells should be done by early to mid-July. So what we wanted to do tonight was talk a little bit about the well house project itself and where we're at with that. We're at about a 90 or 95% completion with the design. We've been reviewing this we're at our monthly project meetings with Katie, the mayor, and Phil. And so they've been up to speed and making decisions along the way for us. And so tonight what we wanted to do is give you kind of a brief overview of what the design resulted in, what you're going to be getting, and then also ask for the authorization from council to advertise the project. We'll likely be ready to advertise in about 2 weeks or so. And the reason for the timing would be, well, one, we're getting ready, but two, we were hoping to have contracts in place so that as soon as the wells themselves are done in July, that we'd have a contractor on board and we could start ordering parts, materials, and getting that work done. So there is a packet in your agenda tonight that I believe has 5 drawings and a cost estimate. And I'm going to let Mark maybe give a brief explanation of the 5 sheets that are in front of you and what they mean and what you're going to be getting, and then we'll open it up for questions.
Thanks, Matt. Mr. Mayor and Council, primarily we want to give you an opportunity to ask questions, so I won't dwell on these drawings, but please ask if there are any questions or comments. I'll just go through these real quick. The title sheet is just, I included that as a reminder of the various locations of where we are doing work. The vast majority of the project is at the the new proposed well site, kind of kitty corner from the school parking lot. But we are doing some ancillary work on the water system throughout the water system. So the next drawing that is labeled C03 just shows the location of the well house and where that sits on the site. It shows the new proposed wells that they will be drilling, and then it simply shows the piping connections, how we will connect that to the existing water main on Birch Avenue.
Watch the governor and see what he says.
The third sheet shows the proposed pavement and seed, so nothing too out of the ordinary there. And probably the most interesting drawing is this fourth drawing, the architecture A4. So we've tried to incorporate the previous comments from council and staff. Proposed building has lap siding with metal roof and doors. We've added some features to give it kind of a residential look with some fake windows. And it'll have exterior lighting on it for security purposes and access and things like that. But otherwise, just a fairly straightforward building. And sheet 5, if you're interested, this is what the piping on the inside of the building looks like. This is the part that actually does the work of producing the water. So those are the drawings. Obviously, there's more drawings that go into the building, but that gives you an idea of what the project is going to look like. And then I might as well walk through the cost estimate at this time too, and then ask for questions on everything. So the total project construction cost for the work that we have shown here is $1.34 million. And that is broken down into several components. The first component would be the new well pumping facility. So that's the bulk of the work at 1.1 million. And then we had some ancillary work around the water system that included the old city well house removal. It included the well house 1 and 2 removal, some pressure reducing valve modifications. And then at this point, we're not including the abandoning the existing wells. We are hoping to get some grant funding for abandoning the wells themselves, the unused wells. So those would be discussed at a future time.
Back on his truck.
So that's a quick overview. Any questions on that or comments?
Ted, you're on mute. Ted, you're on mute.
Hear me, Katie?
Yep.
We get a lot of background noise when we have a lot of people on. So people who are not speaking, could you please put your unit on mute, please? And with that, I'll ask, are there any questions on the whole project for our engineer group?
Hey, Ted.
Yes.
And maybe Phil, I'm wondering if we are in the ballpark where we thought we'd initially be, and maybe it's also for our engineer group. I'm just thinking out loud as far as what we planned on spending and what we have to have money for and what it's going to cost the people.
Sure. So our preliminary engineering report from December had a total project of 1.6 million, or just a little over 1.6 million. Right now we're at 1.34, but you would then have to add in the well cost of just under 300,000, or that came in at. So right now we're still pretty well in line with where we thought we would be last December when we finished the preliminary work. One thing that I think Mark noted is that we do plan to do a couple of alternates in your bid. So the base bid will be for the pumping facility, but some of the removals, the PRV modifications, etc., we're going to set up as alternates so that if one comes in high, you as a council have a very easy way to not accept all of the alternates to keep this in line with where you want to be. So we are purposefully adding 3 or 4 alternates here to help control costs if it comes to that.
Thank you.
Katie, are we looking for any motions on anything tonight?
I think the engineers are just looking for approval to advertise whenever they're ready.
And that would be probably in 2 to 3 weeks. We would have everything done and we'd prepare all of the ads for Katie and the council again. But we'll be ready ahead of your June meeting. So that's why we're looking for authorization tonight, but knowing it's still going to be a few weeks before it actually gets advertised.
So we are looking for a motion to move ahead. For the council, any questions and or motion?
I'll make that motion to move ahead and allow them to advertise since we're in between city council meetings.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Chris, second. All in favor, say aye. Katie?
Counselor Huso,
Aye.
Counselor Jutnan,
Aye.
Counselor Lauer,
Aye.
Counselor Sarvala,
Aye.
and Mayor Shaw.
Aye. Any noes? Hearing none, motion carried. Are there any
Thank you.
other questions or update about the well house? Anything from Matt? Is that all you need? That's all you have for now? I'm taking that as.
I didn't have any other updates. As I mentioned before, the actual drilling of the wells, the pre-construction meeting is occurring tomorrow morning. So that work will be commencing. So you'll see some activity up by your old garage in the very near future here as we drill new wells and hopefully find the same good water that we're getting right now.
Very good. Thank you very much. Hearing no other questions, then we'll move on to new business. Now, this is the police chief contract approval, which we will need to go into close, correct, Katie?
Mm-hmm.
So we'll move on to 7B, which is Kathleen's resignation. Do you have that in front of you? Can you read that, please?
Yep. Dear Katie and Mike, I am writing to announce my resignation from the City of Moose Lake Police Department effective May 22nd, 2020. This was not an easy decision to make. The past 6+ years have been very rewarding. I have enjoyed working for our city. If I can be of help during the transition, please don't hesitate to ask.
Thank you. So we need a motion to accept Kathleen's resignation.
So
Chris?
moved. So moved.
Do I have a second?
Doug?
I'll second.
So if we have no second, we can't fire her or let her go. Okay, I heard
I'll say it
this. All in favor, say aye.
Counselor
Katie?
Huso,
Aye.
Counselor Jutnan,
Aye.
Counselor Lauer,
Aye.
Counselor Sarvala,
I'd like to say no, but aye.
and Mayor Shaw.
Aye. Any noes? Motion carried. Is this the time, Katie, you'd like to talk a little bit about the position?
No, I think we'll wait.
You're gonna wait into the other, okay.
Well, we'll just wait. We'll decide that at a different time.
Imagine Chris, Personnel Committee, we should probably set a date to meet probably soon on this position.
Okay.
We could probably do a double agenda because we have to meet on the data that was sent to us from Sharon on the administrator, all their resumes and so forth.
Okay.
So we have to meet on that very soon also.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes. Yes, Doug.
wouldn't it be prudent to wait till the new police chief starts and then get their input if they're going to even have that position available?
That may be what the outcome would be from the meeting. Absolutely. That'll be probably one of the items we would talk about. Thank you. Moving on then to 7C, the CW Technology computer updates.
So we have the last bunch of computers that need to be upgraded. This was supposed to be done in January and they couldn't get their hands on computers, and now they finally got their hands on computers. So the reason why you have two quotes is because this lower amount was a last minute. We need to get a computer for Rory and the new AVI system. So if you're looking for a total, it's $19,200, and it'll be hopefully a little bit cheaper than that because we're going to have them do the upgrades on both of these quotes at the same time, so they won't have to travel down here multiple different times. It'll just be hopefully like 2 or 3 days of them installing computers. So. You're muted, Ted.
Sorry about that. Are you looking for a motion on this expenditure?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll open up for questions first from the council. Yes, Chris.
And this fits in line with our budget of what we budgeted for?
Yep, these were all budgeted except for the cable TV computer, but he needs it in order to operate his the new system.
Okay.
Any other questions? Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
I'll second. This is Walt.
All in favor, say aye. Katie?
Councillor Huso,
Aye.
Councillor Jutnan,
Aye.
Councillor Lauer,
Aye.
Councillor Sarvala,
Aye.
Mayor Shaw.
Aye. Do we have any no votes? Hearing none, motion carried. Moving on to 7D, Campground Bathhouse.
So we got some feedback late last year about the bathhouse, the upper bathhouse, that it needs some significant upgrades. So I think it's time that we start talking about all of the options. I've got an email into the inspector that came and inspected the day that the state was called. So I'm hoping to hear back some additional information, but it's just something to keep on everybody's radar that we have to have a plan of how we are going to handle that bathhouse by the end of this year for 2021. So I don't know that it needs to be taken care of by 2021, but we need to have a plan in place of what we are considering doing. So I reached out to him to get some additional information on what options we have so that we can start exploring them.
Very good, thank you. Any questions from the council? Hearing none, that's all informational right now, and more information will come as we get it. Moving on to 7E, dump station update.
Phil, I don't know if you want to take this one.
Yeah, everything is completed there other than a little bit of site restoration, a little bit of class 5, and then a little bit of grading around there, and everything's done. So it turned out really good. There was a little talk at first that things weren't going to work out. However, certain individuals did not realize the project was not completed. So other than that, though, it's going to work out just fine once we get a little time to get to it, and it should be by the end of the week. So that's all I have.
Right, thank you very much. Moving on to F, campground lawnmower quotes. Katie?
Yeah, so for capital stuff for the campground, he needs a new lawnmower. I think they've been piecing together their old lawnmower from like with old parts and everything. So we got a couple quotes here for a new lawnmower.
I think this was a lawnmower that was underwater during the 2012 flood, and we tried it out and changed everything we could and changed the oil and gas and have kept it running since then. But I think it's about the end of its life. I don't know how much more they can do to keep it running. We did budget for it in the budget, correct, Katie?
Yep.
All right. Any discussion by the council and or motion?
I'll make a motion that we accept the bid for $7,049.95. Duluth Lawn and Sport, I think, is the lowest bid unless another
No.
counselor wants more money, or am I wrong here?
No, the low bid is Moose Lake Implement with tax, $7,427.18. Yeah.
Okay, the other one has a total which is lower, but it doesn't say that there's tax. So I take that back. I will use the Moose Lake Implement bid of $7,427.18.
Thank you, Doug. Do we have a second?
I'll second that. This is Walt.
You got that, Katie?
Yep.
All in favor, say aye. Katie?
Counselor Huso,
Aye.
Counselor Jutman,
Aye.
Counselor Lauer,
Aye.
Counselor Sarvela,
Aye.
Mayor Shaw.
Aye.
Okay.
Do we have any no votes? Motion carried. Thank you. Moving on to G, graduation parade, Moose Lake area schools. Katie?
So Billy Joe emailed me, and she actually emailed me something a little bit different yesterday that she wanted to do. So let me just pull that up. They are looking to do something for the seniors as far as like a parade, and she said it was going to be more of an escorted drive, and she said they're working with the fire department currently. So I just told her I would run it by you guys, make sure nobody had any issues. The idea was to go from the new school to the old school, and I think it would be kind of a cool thing for the seniors.
Well, the chief of police, do you have any concerns?
No, she had actually got a hold of us as well. The dates were the 19th and the 23rd, correct, Katie?
Yeah, she just changed them like yesterday, but
Oh,
something.
okay. I haven't seen the new changes, but I had 10:30 on those dates at the school. But no, it seems like everything would be just fine. Like it'd be good for the seniors to have something.
Yes.
Go ahead, Phil.
There's no barricades needed, no road closures needed, nothing like that. It's all just straight drive-through.
Yep.
Sounds good.
Yeah, she had mentioned to me that it's just going to be, they're going to meet at the school and it's just going to be a big long procession. And they're just going to drive down all the streets that the seniors live on in the different locations and basically congratulate them and make them feel halfway special this year.
Any comments from the council? Do we have consensus that this is fine to do throughout the city? I am. Chris, you are? Doug?
Definitely.
Yep.
Walt?
Yep, I'm fine with it.
Greg?
Yes, I am. Yes.
Sounds like we have consensus. Very good. Katie, pass that on.
Okay, will do.
I have nothing under reports and correspondence. Katie, do you have any?
Nope, I don't have anything.
Committee and board meeting minutes, May 4th, 2020, Parks and Recreation. Just for a comment to the council, we did talk about the cancellation of the 4th of July fireworks and all activities in park, and we talked about the September 5th date of possibly rescheduling all of that along with the parade with the chamber. And I'm sure there'll be more discussion about that as we get into the summer. But, and also just a quick comment on the lifeguards and the swimming. Right now, I don't think we're advertising for lifeguards. And I don't think we know what's going to happen as far as use of the park, you know, until things change.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, you can do 10 or more people with social distancing, and I don't know, the rest of it is up in the air until we hear more. If we don't advertise for lifeguards, which is starting to get late in the year already, then we wouldn't put the docks out because there would be nobody to supervise that area. And we just go with the same sign, swim at your own risk. We would put the life or those buoys out so no boats would, you know, drive through that area, and no fishing in that area. That's about all we can do on that. So more to come, I guess, on the whole use of the park and swimming and all that. Moving on into announcements. The regular Moose Lake City Council meeting Wednesday, June 10th, 4 p.m. And I'm guessing at this point it'll still be over the go-to meeting.
Yep.
Moose Lake Economic Development Authority, Wednesday, June 17th, 12 p.m. at the City Conference Room. Have you talked to them about a different way of doing the meeting, Katie?
We'll probably end up doing the go-to meeting for that also. And I also I offered it to Shelby for the library board meeting too. So.
All right. Moose Lake Water Light Commission regular meeting Tuesday, May 19th at 3 p.m. That will be also, I think that'll be a Zoom meeting. Moose Lake Housing and Redevelopment Authority Board, Monday, June 8th, 11 a.m. Hillside Manor Office. Is that same, Katie?
We've been doing the go-to meeting for that also.
All right. Moose Lake Area Fire District, Tuesday, June 9th at 6:30 p.m. And I think, Walter, you want to give us a little update on some equipment?
Yes, I do. That meeting is going to be moved to Wednesday at 6:30. And update on the ladder truck. They did purchase a ladder truck for $75,000. They were looking at one that was $125,000. So this one's $50,000 less, which I was very happy to hear. They have agreed also to sell their pumper truck for a minimum bid of $45,000. So they will be able to recoup some of that $75,000 cost. And it'll come out to be costing $29,000 plus the sale of the pumper truck. But I had misgivings about all of this at first, and then the fire department worked very hard on finding a cheaper vehicle, and then agreed to sell that pumper truck too. The ladder truck is in very good condition, and it has all its paperwork and inspection reports for it, and they seem to be very, very happy with it. So I think it turned out fairly well for the taxpayers in the cost of it all.
Very good. Thanks for the update. Good job with that.
Thank you.
Moving on, the Moose Lake Park Board meeting Monday, June 1st at 6:30 p.m. We are meeting in person in the conference or in the City Hall chamber there, and we do the social distancing with the tables. The library board meeting for May, I don't have a date on there.
Oh. I think it's next week sometime. She just emailed me a date. I forgot to put it in there though.
Okay. You can put that in an email out to the council members. It'll be at 1 p.m. in the city conference room. With that, I'll go back up to, we have to go into a closed session for the police chief contract. So I'll need a motion to close the regular meeting and open a closed meeting.
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Counselor Huso,
Aye.
Counselor Jutman,
Aye.
Counselor Lauer,
Aye.
Counselor Sarvala,
Aye.
Mayor Shaw.
Aye. Any noes? Motion carried. How are we going to handle this? Everyone else has to drop off.
I actually emailed out a new phone number and a new code, so we'll end this one and then start a new one.
All right, and then after we're done with the contract work, we will close that and come back into regular session on the other call.
All right.
Thank you.